everybody. Thank you for turning in. This is Unique, and today I'm going to be doing a video of when I got robbed in Brooklyn, like a story type of video. So when I was, let's see, I think I was about 22 years old, and I used to live in New York City. My ex boyfriend and I was hanging out in Crown Heights, New York, and that's in Brooklyn. I was hanging out in my friend building, and we was hanging out with my friend, and he brought his cousin. So it was me and him and his cousin, my friend, and we were just hanging out in the front of the building. They're smoking whatever they smoke, weed, and I guess I was drinking because I drink, but I don't smoke at all. I cannot smoke for nothing. If I try to smoke, it just doesn't make sense. I start cough. So that's one thing I was not able to do when I was out in the world. I'm sure I would have loved to smoke some weed from all the story I've heard from it, getting high and that type of feeling, but the Lord didn't want that to happen to me. So when I used to try to smoke, it just wouldn't work. I didn't know how to get it through my nose. It's just like I feel very stupid trying to even make an attempt to do it because I've made several, and I just cough. That's it. So I said smoking is not for me. So we was drinking and just hanging out in the front of my friend building in the Heights, Crown Heights, and I was deep in sin then. I didn't have any kid yet. He's my son father, and we was just there kissing and whatever the thing is, touching on me, whatever the thing, and we was just chilling, hanging out, and my friend, she was hanging out with his cousin, and so happened that my friend, she was telling the story that a lot of people have been getting robbed all over, I guess in that area, Crown Heights area. This guy just sticking up people with a gun and robbing them. So when she was telling us the story, we say, okay, whatever the case is. I think she had told me before. I've heard about it. She just mentioned it at that moment. But, we didn't think nothing much about it. I don't know what happened. We had to run down to the store. Not sure if somebody had to get something for their weed or whatever the case was. But that was like a couple years ago, many years ago and stuff. So, yeah, so we went to the store. We come back, and me and my ex were just there chilling, kissing, what little young people do. In my early 20s, I have a boyfriend, that go kissing on me, touching on me, whatever the case is, slapping my butt, that type of thing. But anyhow, a guy knocked on the the door because we was right there. So I'm not sure if I was the one that let the guy in, or my ex, or exactly was the one that let the guy in. We didn't think nothing of it. It's an apartment building, Again, I was kind of like tipsy. They was kind of like high and stuff. So the guy knocked on the door. We let him in. All I know, one stuff led to the next. I just see when this guy pull out a gun. Give me your chain. I'm like, what the hell? It just happened so quick because when you're drinking, you're kind of slow. I mean, I guess that's just me. But I'm like, what? This must be a dream. When you're drinking, certain stuff that happen, it coming like it would be a dream, but it's happening in real life. That's how it appeared to me when I used to be drinking. So I weren't even scared or nothing. But this guy, he pulled out his gun and said, first, before he did that, he said to my ex, because I guess he said, I was watching y'all. I said, yeah, Lord of mercy, what am I watch with for? That's what I think. And, then he make a compliment because I had on, I used to dress very sexy then. He said, she's sexy, huh? And so my ex, about me, I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, what is this? Then he pulled out his gun. Give me a chain. So I think he did that first to my ex. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I was so tipsy and so scared. I think, a matter of fact, maybe I weren't scared because it's not like, if I was scared, maybe I would have run. Because, I used to be a runner. So, when you're scared, you don't run. But I'm like, what the hell? Did he just point the gun at him? Oh my gosh, I hope we don't kill him because my ex was visiting me from Massachusetts. And this is where I live at now in Massachusetts. So you see why I moved here to Massachusetts and stuff. Um, he was visiting from Massachusetts. While I live in New York City, I live in Queens, but I was just hanging with my friend in Brooklyn. So he pointed the gun at him and he had a nice chain. And he said, "Give me your chain." I was like, "Whoa." So he take his chain. And he pointed at me. I had a nameplate chain like I used to love to bling out back in those days. Now I don't even wear jewelry and stuff. That weren't the reason. I think after that I said I weren't gonna buy no more real gold like that because that was my first real gold I buy with my own money when I just start working. I buy a nameplate earring, nameplate ring with my name on it. Like I need some stuff with my name on it. That is so stupid. Nameplate chain, and it was like white gold, and it was I paid a lot of money for it because I said I want to spoil myself. And when I just start working at 19, and then I said I'm gonna spoil myself. No, I could get expensive jewelry because I like to bling out. But the guy pointed the gun at me and said, "Give it to him." So I had to give it all up. But he didn't do nothing to us. He just pointed the gun and then he left. But that was so funny because I could have died or my ex could have died. So what happened between my ex cousin, he didn't have anything for them to steal. And 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 my friend, she didn't have anything. But my ex, you know, when we was going home and stuff, he said, I think it's your friend that set it up. I said, "Really? I don't think so." Up to today, the year, I think he think it's my friend that set it up. So I don't know. He said, "How come we got robbed?" And he said, "Well, I understand my cousin didn't have no, but she didn't get robbed." But I said she didn't have anything either. It's not like she had money. She was in her building. She didn't have no blings. But he think it's my friend that set it up. But I just thank God for sparing my life because that was one of the many times I've come close to death when a gun was pointing at me. So I must give him my bling. So I gladly give it up. I'm like, this ain't worth my life. You could take it. Have it. But I'm like, what is he going to do with stuff with my name with it? I said, my name is all over it and stuff. So now that I remember this, because life is spiritual, I should be praying because I have no idea who is sell those stuff to or if they put it on an altar. Now that I'm thinking like it's coming to me now like, oh my gosh, my name is on it. You could have put it on an altar, send it could be a wizard that sent it. Who knows who sent him to do that? But thank God the Lord was with us, so he didn't kill us because he could have killed us, you know? Because sometimes when people rob, they could kill you. But thank God he didn't kill us. But that was a very close experience. Somebody pointed a gun on me and my ex. And that night, my ex, you know, when you out in sin, we had planned we're going to go home, make love, all this stuff. That never happened that night. That night, that man messed up everything. We just sleep and he was pissed off. I was like just happy to just be alive. Like, damn, we just come close to death. I mean, I was mad tipsy, but when I wake up, I said, man, we come close to death. Was that a dream or what? And yeah, it was just so crazy. But I thank God for sparing my life and looking out for me when I was out in sin. And like many of you two that listening to this, many of time maybe you come close to death and God look out for you when you was in sin. God is awesome. It's good for people to pray for a loved one that is in sin. I really believe that, you know, my mom prayer saved me a lot when I was out in the world. And also I feel like my ancestor in heaven, because, you know, we have ancestor in heaven that is interceding for us. They was always interceding for me because there's a lot of time I come close to death. So thank you all for listening to this story time of when I was 22 years old and I almost died. I got robbed in Brooklyn, New York. I'm so glad, people, that I left New York. New York City was such bad news for me. I could have maybe been dead if I still live at New York City. I just don't know. You know, I'm just glad I moved there. I know I had to move out of New York City once I had a kid. I said I couldn't stay here no more. Didn't want my kid raised up in this, you know, like in the ghetto like that, you know. So I just give God thanks. And not everywhere in New York City is ghetto, but I just didn't want them to raise up in New York City. So I moved once my son was like 2 years old. I get out and moved to Massachusetts. And I think it was a good move because I didn't know much people here, and the only pa friend not good. Look what happened to Shaquella Robinson. So say the only pa friend thing no good. It's hang out with friend all the time, getting up here trouble. I do all type of stuff with me nothing I do. I'm so glad I move out of New York, man. When I move out of New York, I start hang with myself and get to know God, and that's how I come to God. Because whenever they have the only pa crowd for drag me go a party, drag me go a strip club, people used to just come and, yeah, we're going to the strip club. I'm not taking no for answer. I'm coming to pick you up, so get dressed. I'm like, oh my God. So, New York City is just the city for a lot of sin. If you're in New York City and you find God, you are special. Trust me, you're choosing, because I don't think I could have found God in New York City. It's good that I had to move out New York City. And that's when I find God, because I had just too much friends there that going to bring me to party and just drag me deeper in sin. So thank God for doing that. Move me out of New York City. Be blessed, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this story time. Shalom.